This is a public service announcement. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are for comedy purposes only and should not be taken seriously. The Never a Straight Answer podcast advised that the information covered in the show should not be used for educational purposes, nor as a guide for carrying out such crimes linked to the subject matter of the episode, no matter how fucking awesome it is. Gaz and Taylor do not take responsibility for the following: UFO encounters or possible linked abductions, committing or being a victim of serial murder, falling down conspiracy rabbit holes, fits of psychotic rage, anger or confusion, or going postal on friends, family or co-workers. The boys advise the use of THC or edibles when subjected to the Never a Straight Answer podcast. We hope you enjoy the show. Yeah, I've fucking got the giggles already. I'm fucking losing my shit. Hello and welcome to another episode of Never a Straight Answer, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics, from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. See, I'm losing it.
You're mashed, man.
I'm your host, Gaz, and joined in the studio, he's known on the scene as the Tea Party Room Taylor. And you'll find out a bit more about that later.
Yeah.
You like that?
Well,
name?
hey, hold on. Hey, no. I haven't been invited yet.
Yeah, the tea room Taylor.
The tea room. No. I haven't been invited.
So
yet.
yeah, we'll find out. Like I say,
yeah, we will.
It's a bit of a clue into the episode.
Yeah.
But no, it's not actually all about that. But if you know what tea rooming is.
No, but I heard you've gone on occasions.
Oh, that. I think
yeah, generally, yeah.
You're the one who's doing a comprehensive fucking guide.
No, I'm
to
just
dogging locations.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on the dogging lookout. Looking out for dogging sites.
It's a totally different thing. Come on.
Yeah.
You getting the fucking your genres mixed up now. Come on. Ooh. Hello and welcome to the show. Anyway,
yeah.
Like I say, I'm Gaz, and in the studio we've got Mr. Taylor. He didn't get his applause. I think he deserves
I was
it.
waiting for that. Yes. I can relieve now.
It's been a busy week. It's been a miserable weather.
Yeah.
This
terrible.
week, to the point where I've not really done much. I've worked and come home.
Yeah.
And
flooding is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, right. I left one day, and I just went on Monday to go to work, and I just went, oh my god, my whole road was closed off because of a flood.
Yeah,
I know, say flood, it was surface water, but
it was a minor compared to some of the others who lost their
seriously,
houses.
in other parts of the country, it's fucking ridiculous.
Absolutely.
So. You count yourself lucky, don't you?
Yeah, and a lot of them ain't got insurance as well.
This is the thing, though, because the insurance companies probably won't.
Well, no, they won't down my way. There was a flood there about 5 years ago, and they told the houses that they will not insure them anymore. You have to deal with it yourself. And then try and sell a house.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? You can't even sell it on because people are a bit more aware of it now.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's like if you've lived in a house for 30 years and you live on flood sort of plains, then
and the security was
then
right.
Then you've got an attachment. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when it's I would know. Why would you want to go and buy into it now? You'd just be feeling like, oh, this is going to be a nightmare coming up. So
it's true, but. The telltale signs were there. We have been flooded before,
Well,
what I mean?
the bad weather's been kind of affecting most people. I think we're at the moment we're in the midst of Storm Jorge.
Yeah, I think that's the third one in the last month.
It hooling out and wailing outside.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's been chucking it down.
Yeah, it's noisy as fuck.
It's quite nice this morning. It's a bit
weird. Was actually. It has been quite a change.
So there's been a bit of a debate.
Yeah.
Over on news stations about sending their reporters out into bad weather. Do you know
what they get paid for?
And but the people who were complaining have kind of got a point, because these guys are just stood in Force 9 hurricanes and whatever the weather they send them out to, and they must send about 3 or 4 out at a time, to different locations around
nearby.
the country.
Yeah.
And it's like, they get cut off. You can't understand a word they're saying. They just look miserable.
What's
it's
the
like,
alternative?
well, this is
Drone?
it. This is what made me laugh because, one of the suggestions was drone. Another suggestion was from a guy on Twitter who basically just said, get a really long lens.
Really long lens. What, one for a space?
A really long lens.
Just to look down the... Yeah, let's have a look down there and see.
You will just point the fucking... every telescope we own just at the...
just at that little
at
spot.
Blackpool Pier.
Yeah. See how the weather is.
The other thing, though, it's drones would just get blown away.
Yeah, it's too easy. I don't even think they'll be able to take off.
In fact, they advise not to fly in certain weathers because if you're over a certain airspeed, you can't fly.
No.
So
push back.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right, everywhere.
Yeah, you'd be fucking out. You'd be flying in.
Yeah, remember those? You could cause an accident.
Remember those footballs when you were a kid, fly away footballs?
Oh yeah, you still get them now, man.
You'd kick one of them. And you'd kick it in a direction, but then it'd go fucking left. Yeah. Like, with the wind.
Like, when's the wind gonna blow? Right, kick it now. I'm kicking it.
If you were really skillful.
To the left-hand side and it'll get the goal.
That's what I was going to say, if you were really skillful, you could probably do it.
I've done that a few times. Yeah, man.
Fair dues. I'm not that great at football
I'm usually the goalkeeper, man.
How are you? Yeah, same. Yeah.
No,
I was just like, stick me in goal.
Yeah.
Stand here for a bit.
Yeah. Cup of tea.
Yeah, standard.
You know what I mean? An orange way.
And if the rest of my team were doing their job properly, I shouldn't have to do fuck all.
Exactly. My defence, if I have to touch that ball once, my defence is sacked.
Well, there you go. What have you been up to this week?
General work, and I've been looking again into this, the virus that's been spreading around.
Sounds like fucking you with like it's the start of some zombie apocalypse when you say it like that.
Well,
the virus, virus. Well, we're gonna go talk a bit more about the virus a bit later on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you were gonna come out with some nuggets of information there if you wanted to save them.
Yeah, I'll save them till later.
Totally. Yeah. But I mean, like you say, you've been looking into it, and I mean, it's been very prominent in the news the last couple of days.
Yeah, that's true.
And
there's been a lot of conspiracy theories on methods, and different things from different areas have turned up, like questions. And I've been thinking about the total result of what would happen if it is a pandemic, which I believe it is a pandemic now. That when the whole world gets it, that what's the ultimate goal at the end of it?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Because there is out of the stuff that we've talked about before that like could connect to actually this kind of stuff.
Conspiracies come out for a lot of things, though. Do you know what I mean? And
but
there's always going to be somebody who's going to go, ooh. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. If there's evidence to back it up, it's not a conspiracy, is it?
Well, that's it. How many conspiracies that have been proven correct?
Well, that's true as well. But what I'm thinking is, obviously you were saying about chemtrails and all this sort of other stuff that's connected to it. Yeah. And I mean, if it is, that's a very long game they've been playing.
Well, think of it this way: like Hitler tried ruling the world by force, and it didn't seem to work. So, as been spoken before, that the idea was instead of hitting someone fast, you sneakily.
Yeah, there's been
it takes years and years.
There's been absolutely loads of different
things.
Ways that people have tried to take over the world.
Well, look at retail alone.
Hitler tried to kind of,
force it
and infiltrate by storming borders. Whereas nowadays, it's you can kind of do things digitally. You can do things economically. There's so many different. We've opened it up now to a point where there's so many different avenues where you can fuck us up, basically, that we've kind of done it to ourselves. It's like we can be shut down by an EMP, but then we could also be shut down by like a virus. Yeah. These methods where they don't even have to send a bomb, they don't even have to do it brute force anymore. It's tactically, and they just kind of sit there and watch it all unravel. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is it.
Well, that's not.
We've got more later.
Well, to be honest, the show's kind of an interesting one tonight because it does link in with what's going on with the coronavirus a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I say, we'll talk about that a little bit more. After the next segment, but we're going to be talking about human experimentation. Tonight. And we've found a few different examples of points in history where the government or, government agencies have done human trials or human experiments
Yeah.
on people for seemingly kind of pointless reasons,
Well,
really.
I can't. No, I don't think they do it for pointless reasons.
Well,
but they
some
do
of
it for a
them-
result for them.
Some of them were just fucking ghastly, horrific sort of fucking sort of experiments. It's like Mengele, doing all the experiments with the twins and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right.
That's
Now,
a bit of work.
I mean, he was kind of an evil dude.
Yeah.
But it was like some of his experiments were just kind of, let's see what would happen.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I suppose in a way you're
Also,
going to have to put your head into how they were thinking at the time and what they were thinking of, as in like how could you make someone squeal even more than
well, it
enormous,
depends what you were trying to research, I suppose, wouldn't it? But
so realistically, there was an intent to get information.
Now, there's also the connection with what we were discussing last week, the Jonestown massacre.
Yeah.
Now, you could argue that was a social human experiment. The fact that he was kind of leading these people to start a commune and a new way of life.
Yeah.
And it was an experiment. It hadn't been done.
Yeah.
And this was a first. So, these links. So we've got a couple of kind of avenues we're going to talk about, and we're obviously with human trials kind of needing to be done on the corona vaccine.
Yes. Which is it's gonna take time before that happens, because they're going to have to do it into like rats and stuff like that first before they use a human.
Rats and stuff.
Yeah.
We did
monkeys.
We did a load of trials on guinea pigs.
Well, don't forget as well.
And it's looking good. It killed them all.
Well,
but we reckon it'll work on humans. Who's up first?
Yeah. You can't just exactly go, well, we think we've got it. We're try old Mickey over there and
thing
see
is,
if he's all right.
They always take about a year or something before they can kind of get it out.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the earliest
this is
would
the problem.
be January. That'd be the earliest.
This
next
is the
year.
big problem with it, though, because obviously that means if there's no vaccine, then this could be potentially kicking around for the next 12 months.
Well, yeah.
Until they've got something sorted.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, what was I going to say? So we've basically got some new segment coming up.
We are.
We haven't got it. It's not a new segment. Well, we've been doing it for a few weeks.
Well, yeah, we have. Yeah, no, that's true. It's a new setup and it's going well, I think.
I think so. Yeah. So we've basically been doing a new segment called "What's Fucked Up Where You're From."
Oh,
hey, new segment. I think it's a really cool segment, and we want you guys to get involved with this. Yeah. So if you've got, if you live in your hometown, and it's got some sort of folklore or a local mythical animal or a haunted house or anything crazy or fucked up, we want to hear from you. Well, it can be as fucked up as you like, We'll send it us and we'll kind of have a look at it.
Yeah, if it's fucked up enough, it comes on here.
We'll do the whole segment on your area, and we'll have a look on the Google and find more fucked up stuff if we can.
There's always fucked up stuff.
There's
around.
always more
everywhere.
So tonight's What's Fucked Up Where You're From comes all the way from California.
Yes, California.
And the OC.
The OC,
the OC, bitch.
Man.
Yeah, do you remember that show?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it? I had some theme music. Oh, yeah.
You had some theme music, and it's over.
It's actually getting drowned out by the backing track.
It is. I wonder if you can work it out. Yes, it is.
There we go.
Yes.
I don't know if we'll get charged for this, but,
Well, hopefully not. Because
we can't afford it.
Lint. Yeah. If they take lint,
to be honest, it's like the band's probably not done much for a while, so they're probably thinking, royalties.
Yeah, jump on it straight away.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
here's my 12p.
Like I say, tonight's What's Fucked Up Where You're From is located in Orange County in California. And it comes from a long-time listener, Valerie.
Yes, Valerie.
Who's basically said she had a bit of a paranormal weird experience.
Ooh,
yeah.
nice weird
And
one.
she's emailed us with her story.
Oh, right.
And I've also had a look into the area of the OC.
And
had a bit of a check
little
around, see what's going
we?
on. If there was anything else, and there's quite a lot, to be honest. We've got a lot of folklores going on around the California area.
Yeah.
But like I say, she's emailed us with a first-hand experience. So basically, the Black Star or the Trabuco Canyon, I think it is located in Orange County, California.
Okay.
And self-proclaimed ghost hunters go there quite often. It's not some place that you'd want to go messing around in. Yeah, so
right,
it's obviously it's got a bit of history.
Yeah.
She said herself, she's had kind of a weird experience there.
Oh, right.
And what happened was she was coming home from what was it? So she was oh right, sorry, let me start here again. She's had a very weird things happening when she's been there.
Yeah.
All the time. Feels like that she's being watched and feels unsafe.
Okay, yeah.
She knows
around there.
that back in the 1800s there was an Indian war that happened at Black Star.
Right.
And in the 1970s there was a school bus crash where almost everybody died.
Oh shit.
And here's the crazy part: the bus stayed on the property until 2012.
All right.
But sometimes when you're driving on the road, on the winding roads, you can kind of catch a glimpse of this bus, this overturned bus. So one of the basically ghost stories that she believes 100%, because she remembers back in 2015, her and a load of friends were driving through the canyon one night, and they basically there was about 5 of them.
Yeah.
And the people kind of knew each other from school, so they were all good friends and, college, going on into kind of college and stuff. And, well, when they had plans to just go out driving around one night.
Yeah, why not?
One of them had kind of a Mustang car and, and the other one had a Camaro, so they were always kind of out driving about, cruising. So it was kind of common for them to just go out.
Yeah.
So they were driving through Black Star Canyon, and it was a very long and very curvy road, and it was some place where they were speeding. You wouldn't want to speed in this area because, obviously country lanes and winding roads. Yeah. It's just accidents waiting to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, with all the potholes these days.
They were kind of driving up, and there was about a couple of minutes, and then basically they saw, she basically saw the bus.
Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She saw the bus and she started yelling, but they kept driving. And once they were out of the forest, because this is it, it went dark because they were
in the
drove through
area.
some forest area. So even though it was around 6 p.m. and it was still light,
it'd be even spookier down there.
The kind of light went a little bit.
Yeah.
So once they got through the forest, they parked up and they were like, "We're not going to go through." Again, till a bit just.
Yeah, leave it till a bit later when it's even more dark.
Oh, yeah, that's it, isn't it? When it's about 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But she basically said they drove back.
Yeah.
And they didn't see the bus because obviously it was on the land, so it was just not parked up for years.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they've seen it. But when they drove back, it was gone.
Yeah.
And but there was 2 people walking down the road on their own.
Ooh.
And they said that that's pretty dangerous and very uncommon. So were these people...
Why didn't they stop? I would have pulled over
would have
and
been
gone.
like, "You're all right. Would you need a hand?"
Especially if there's 2 vehicles and there's a bunch of you. You know what I mean? If you're on your own, obviously not. But if you've got quite a few people with you, then why not? Just to see, why not?
Yeah, just to make sure that
Unless
you're all right.
Scare
you know
them,
what I mean? You don't want to.
Well, then again, they wanted to get out of there, didn't they? They were spooked a little bit, so
yeah, definitely.
I'm out of here.
I'd be the same as well, to be honest. I'd be like, excuse me, I need to get my ass out of this area.
Nah, I think I'd stay and go for it,
Would you?
Yeah. Why not? Why not? What's the worst they could do?
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
What was that advert?
I don't know.
Oh, Dr. Pepper.
Was it Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
The good Dr. Pepper.
I'm just trying to find, so I've got a couple more examples of crazy stuff that was going on.
Well, we used to give LSD to our troops. There's another experimentation.
Well, we'll get there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No, yeah, well, that's on the list.
Is it? Oh, right, okay.
I think it might be, actually. Well, it was a fucking pretty,
Yeah, it was pretty fucking
out there
horrific
case, and I think a lot of people know that one.
Yeah.
So, and basically, we're still on the what's fucked up where you're from.
Yeah.
So, the ghost of the Stove Lake.
Yeah.
So, San Francisco's Golden Gate Park is home to one of the city's most famous ghosts. The Stowe Lake is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman after attempting to save a child who fell in the water and drowned in the lake. Legend goes that the woman referred to the White Lady wanders at the edges of Stowe Lake in search of her baby, and she can be even summoned by visitors. It's said that the most active area surrounding the lake is near the Pioneer Woman and Child statue. The brave ghost seekers can summon up the woman by calling out, "White lady, white lady, I have your baby."
It sounds a bit like what's
Is
it
San
called?
Francisco in California? I didn't know if that was because when I've looked into this, I've searched for local to the Orange County area.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know my geography. I'm shit.
I'm a bit shit with it, but I think it is.
No, potentially, innit?
Well, if it isn't, it's an extra on top of a different area.
Well, there you go. That's what's fucked up where Valerie's from.
Yeah.
If you want to get involved and you want to have your area shouted out on the show.
Or you want to look at a bus when you're driving in the canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, that's actually a pretty fucked up story, actually, isn't it? Do you believe in that sort of thing? Because obviously, I've kind of got this thing about objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, and potentially that, if something's owned by a person and used by a person every day of their life, does their sort of, soul or kind of, being kind of attach itself to that object?
Well, that depends if you're in a
little
kind
bit
of religion, like kind of like a spiritualist or
totally. I'm into the spirit stuff,
even
but
a church.
Not church.
Even
not down with the church.
Then would have certain.
If you're into church, then you crack on.
Yeah,
but it doesn't float my boat.
Don't float mine either.
Yeah.
But
so.
I think
the word was
agnostic.
I think it's agnostic, being like you believe in something spiritual, the universe, karma. I think I believe in a lot of different bits of different religions.
I just think
what I mean.
Yeah.
Some they've got bits right, but they've got a lot wrong. Yeah.
We're still searching, but then again, I don't think we're going to reach the end and find out.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's a never-ending task, because there's always, like in science, if you answer one question, you've got like 50, 60 questions on top of that because you've got that answer. Now you want more. Or it creates more questions.
So
on
this
different
bus
aspects.
obviously had been, on the property. Since
for a long time.
Fucking from 1970s, sometime in the 1970s, right up until 2012.
So
right?
it's like, what, 30,
so like I say, it's got
years.
And then something so horrific to happen. It's understandable that there might be a presence or something.
Yeah. I think in a long-term object being in the place, I reckon you could get.
Or is it a case of that people were so used to seeing it there when driving through the canyon that just for that split second they think they've seen it because it's burnt in the mind?
That's a good question.
Do you know what I mean?
To be honest,
because at the end of the day, it's like you kind of
it's there.
Yeah. It's like psychological, isn't it? It's like the last time you went down that canyon, you saw that bus. Yeah. So even though it might not be there, it's imprinted. Because and that's how synapses work in the brain, really. Because it's like when you're recalling information, it fires that synapse, and it's just a cobble of bits of information. That's why you misremember things.
Well, and also they've just found out that when you remember something, it actually changes a little aspect every time, because you're not actually remembering the first time you remembered it. You're remembering it the last time you were remembering it. It's not the first, it's the last time you remember it.
So is that why memories fade and stuff like that? That's sad.
Yeah. But in other words, if you didn't, then your brain would be full of fucking
I like that. My brains are like, well, what about people who do mind mapping and stuff like that?
Well, yeah,
like,
we still know not a lot about the brain.
Caves and stuff.
Yeah, well,
I think there's,
there's still a hell of a lot.
Well, it's the biggest hard drive ever going at the moment still.
Yeah.
And it's, we retain a lot of information. I think how it works and how it kind of recalls of it.
Yeah.
No, I think we use... I don't know how correct that is, to be honest.
No, the 20% thing is rubbish. But
we don't use all of its potential.
We don't use all of it, yeah.
But again, we're dumbing ourselves down even more now, because there was a time when we'd just be able to do sums in our heads, or be able to do simple things or recall that information.
Yeah, but we don't need
now
that,
we don't need to, because we've got a device that does it for us.
Yeah.
And it's that one step closer to, like you say,
it's laziness.
To not just laziness,
brain
but
laziness.
Integration of technology. We've talked about that before, actually. But so going into the main topic.
Yep.
We were talking about kind of the coronavirus earlier.
Yeah.
And obviously tonight's episode we're talking about human experimentation.
Yeah.
Now it's been hitting the news quite a lot because obviously corona's hitting, and
we need to get a cure.
Well, the vaccine is kind of underway.
Yeah.
But when bird flu hit, it took them about a year.
Yeah.
They've sped it as much as they
faster.
could.
It should be 10 years before something comes out.
As well, with trials and clinical trials and human testing and all the rest of it. But when, but they got it done in 8 months, I think, right?
But
with the bird flu, fucking SARS or whatever you want to call it. And it's expensive.
Yeah.
So they've kind of estimated 1 year at least before human clinical trials. So who's volunteering for these things?
Prisoners.
Do you think prisoners?
Well,
because obviously I was watching Venom the other day as well, right? And this is a multinational company, right? Who were not government based, but they were able to act a bit shifty, and they've got a bit of power and a bit of money, And they were trying to, in that film, they were trying to go, right, I want to be able to kind of integrate this symbiote into this with this human, and they were getting a load of homeless people in, and
yes.
I mean, we talk about the missing 411 and stuff like that, where millions of people go missing every year, and it makes you wonder where they go.
Well,
and are people being still used for these sort of experiments? And we'll talk about it in the episode because there's so many projects. Not just our government, but the American government, the Russian government.
Yeah,
they've all
Middle
had a dabble
East, everywhere
in human experimentation one way
or
another.
The game. You want to win the game, like everyone wants to win the game, so you use everything on the board.
So you were talking about the acid tests.
Yeah, we used to. We did tests on soldiers because basically you want a super soldier. If you got a super soldier, then you don't need to spend as much on equipment or any more soldiers if you've got a group that can go off and kick ass everywhere or anywhere. Like what they've got now, like special forces go out and kick their ass. They don't need actually to send in 1,000 troops to go in and surround the place, then do this and the other. They only need a little group. So for years, they've governments have wanted, powerful governments wanted super soldiers. And one of the tests was in Britain with LSD, giving soldiers LSD.
They did it in Vietnam as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Was it kind of more heroin and stuff?
It was sort of like tablet forms and the injections. Oh, you need this for malaria, or you need this for this. But actually, they were being experimented on to test. They were like the guinea pigs, basically.
Right,
and
okay.
A lot of people changed because of it, because of illnesses or stuff they wouldn't have had. But it was the same with the spraying of the crops, Project Orange, when they were spraying chemicals over. Soldiers were down there, the enemy was down there.
Yeah.
But you're also your own men. But as if you think yourself as if you put yourself in the position of a government, killing a few hundred people is nothing to them.
It's not just a few hundred people, though. It's and again, I know what you're saying, and I know that's what, it's even fucking
The
Star
outcome,
Trek,
yeah.
even
Yeah,
Star Trek
yeah,
go down
did
that road.
that.
The fucking
Exactly.
needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one,
but only in certain aspects.
And do you know when when these villains in movies and they go, well, I'm not doing it because I'm evil. I'm doing it because, like Thanos, or the guy out of Kingsman, where they're doing it because they feel like it's the smartest only option. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We need to depopulate. Yeah, we need to kind of bring back the Earth.
I'm sort of on the agreement.
And I kind of, there's been points when I've seen films, and I think the first time I ever saw that plot device happen in a film, I went, oh, that's just blown my mind, because now I'm looking at the villain not as a villain, but as somebody who's trying to do good, but somebody who's got more value for life and will try and work it out another way has stepped in. You've got to admit, it's not like he's doing it out of malice. He's doing it out of, No,
but one thing made me think about this.
Go on.
And the thing is, right, the world is 70% water, Then you've got the 30% land, right? Within that 30% of land, we only use possibly about 6 to 9%. So that actually argument for we're overpopulated.
Well, there's a lot of land. There is a lot of land.
We're using it unresponsible. We're using it. We're abusing it when we're not using it.
Yeah, we kind of congregate in one area and then build up on that area, whereas there is a lot of land. But you could argue that rather than spreading out and, spoiling the earth, and building on all of it, that we're kind of doing it a favour. So, by populating a certain little area, but it's not, it's concentrating pollution and concentrating, just the way of life.
And we're sharing with animals as well. We're sharing with animals, birds, insects. We're sharing with the whole environment. And as you can see in different countries, that you're getting bears going into cities. You're getting crocodiles going into cities. You're getting tigers,
alligators in the sewers.
And it's like, well, what do you expect them to do?
Well, you stop flushing those fucking alligators down the toilet. If you don't want an alligator, don't buy an alligator.
Yeah, we don't want them in the sewers. We're sick of them. Them goldfish,
or at least make sure he's dead before you flush it. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously something's going on.
If you're flushing down a crocodile, at least once a day, you've got to flush down some food for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Be responsible.
Yeah, be responsible.
It's like, Dad, can I have a crocodile? I'll clean its hutch.
Mind you, get rid of all that. Get rid of the rats. It's a good rat catcher.
I think we're going off on a tangent.
I think we are,
I've got a story here about you said about giving them a sort of drink or some sort of tablet or something, to like administer sort of poison or
the ingredients,
so whatever they want to experiment on them with. So shortly after World War II, with the impending Cold War forefront on the minds of Americans, many medical researchers were wanted to kind of look into the idea of radioactivity chemical warfare.
It was a new thing, wasn't it?
So in an area of experimentation with Vanderbilt University, 829 pregnant women were given a vitamin drink. They were told that it improved the health of their unborn babies, but instead the drink contained radioactive iron, and the researchers were studying how quickly the radioisotopes would cross into the placenta. At least 7 of the babies later died of cancer and leukemia, and one of the women themselves experienced, a lot of the women experienced rashes, bruising, weight loss, loss of hair, loss of teeth, and cancer.
Again, that's to me, that's like the super soldier, because you would feed someone something for the baby, so it was the immune system would fight against it, and then once it lives, it can fight against whatever that disease is.
The Nazis also did human experimentation. I'm not sure if these were kind of going for the super soldier one as well. It seems like they're all trying to do a bit of Steve Rogers, aren't they? But over the course of the Third Reich, the Nazi Germany basically concluded a series of medical experiments on Jews.
Yes.
In POW camps.
Yes. Sick bastards.
The experiments were conducted in the camps, and most cases resulted in death, disfigurement, and permanent disability. Especially disturbing experiments included attempts to generally manipulate twins, which was Mengele, wasn't it?
Big thing they wanted to do.
The thing is a town in Germany which is virtually populated with twins.
Yeah.
Now, right now, were you telling me that that's not due to Mengele's dabbling?
No, I don't think. Well, why? Why? What are you saying that like? Because that was the area.
Well, the
that
thing
it
was
happened
as well with Mengele doing the human experimentation on twins. Is the best thing about that is you've got a control, right? Yeah. So if you want to experiment on them, you've got one you don't experiment on, one you do, and you've got somebody who's in perfect health and somebody who's being tortured.
Yeah. Like experiment on one and
that's
heavy
the thing.
On the
what
other.
they were doing.
Yeah.
And obviously,
But we sort of do that in a more practical way now, not a vicious way, like sending twin astronauts, like one into space and one on the ground.
I understand that because it's a non-violent experiment.
But that was the lower end.
That is the fucking uber lower end.
Yeah.
That's like the fucking you've dug a hole, got in the hole,
but that
bottom
means
of the barrel, fucking.
Yeah, but at certain things to progress, you need to go that little bit further. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not agreeing with all these sick bastards doing this shit, but in the mind of a sicko, that's going to be nothing to them, and they want to learn certain things so they can either pass it on or earn riches at the end of it.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? There has to be something at the end of the reason why they're doing it.
Well, they were basically just testing out. I think a lot of these experiments that Mengele was doing as well on the it was like another day at the office for him. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean.
And they'd come up with new ways. So I think like it's efficiency, isn't it? It's trying to get a job done. So
the Germans are good at
all right
efficiency.
Then, right? You've got a problem, right? You've got you showed me a video before. It was proper horrible, but it was kind of like put me in a new perspective on something.
Right.
But it was kind of a lot of kind of birds that were being destroyed because of bird flu.
Yeah.
And it was just the way they did it.
Yeah,
it wasn't the scene that you seen that happening. It was like
the process
beforehand, and they were just basically had them loaded up in a JCB and
kicked them in,
kicked them in a hole
like it was a piece of rubbish.
Yeah, exactly, and it was
not
like,
even giving the chance.
But that's what I'm saying. In the Second World War, those concentration camps were like that, and people who were responsible for running them, like Josef Mengele's and your SS officers and whoever else they had in charge of these places.
But it was like fearmonger
you'd have
as well.
to desensitize yourself so much to the fact that you'd just be like, right, I've got a problem here. I've got fucking more and more people coming into my camp every day.
Yeah,
I need to depopulate.
Yeah.
So what's the most efficient way? So right, we'll do a few experiments, and that's how it came about. Where it would be like, right, we'll try a bit of gas in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like, right, that's pretty efficient. We can do fucking hundreds in one room in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's when it comes into human experimentation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even the sense of that. That's for efficiency. It's not even a case of that you're experimenting on another human for the advancement of
it was to get
the humanity.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just to kind
total
of
extermination.
Exactly. It was an extermination.
Yeah.
Now, there's a difference between genocide and extermination and, human experimentation for progressional purposes.
Yeah.
Now, we asked Twitter what their opinion was, whether human experimentation should be kind of allowed or should be kind of like, used.
Yeah.
And let's see what they said, shall we?
Oh, yes. Yes, we're getting an answer.
Well, we asked them... like I say, is human experimentation sort of legit? Is it needed for the advancement and the sort of...
We can only go so far because it's a case of, why am I going to tell Hitler off if I do exactly the same as him.
Well, like I say, is it vital to research and development of science, new vaccines, that sort of thing? 14% said it's vital, like ridiculously vital. These people need to be tested on. 36%.
In a sort of way, I sort of agree with him in a way.
Well, it's 14%. It's not that much, but 36% said it's a load of mad scientists just playing fucking God sort of attitude.
Well, I'd say about half of them.
And 50% said, yeah, it should be done.
Yeah.
But there needs to be limits on how
totally.
far you take it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a good attitude because,
but it is still,
like you say,
necessary
these things
in
do
certain
need to
aspects.
be tested and made sure they work on our being.
Yeah,
on
so I'd say then 14% ain't totally wrong on that.
No, not at all. But they're saying it's I mean, I'm wondering, like I said about Venom, the movie, it's like if you're kidnapping homeless people off the street or enticing them in, because what was that? I don't know if it was a film or a documentary or something I was watching, but they basically said, they'd entice them into a van with promises of warm clothes and food and a warm bed for the night. Homeless people,
I think,
and then they take them. Is it a Van
Damme film? Yeah, and basically they put him in the woods and go, right, you've got half an hour to run. They get people to pay these hunters to. It's
another
go
one,
around.
isn't it?
It's the same as
Snuff
what we used
movies.
to do with animals over in Africa when we used to go over there and just go, right, let's go hunting, fuck it, bang, 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 until like they started exterminating everyone. But instead of animals now, it is. Like,
well, there's a new movie coming out,
movie.
Isn't there, about that sort of thing where it's like a YouTube phenomenon?
Yeah, I think it's still going on,
and it's got Daniel Radcliffe in it. I think it's called Guns Akimbo or something like that. It looks pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But that's one of those sort of death sort of, kill or be killed, for sport.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
because don't forget, every nation has their own different laws and that as well, and allow things to happen that really shouldn't.
Well, it's always going. Like I say, it's gone on in pretty much all the countries. Human experimentation over in the Soviet Union, begun in 1921, continuing of most of the 21st century. Yeah, so the Soviet Union employed poison laboratories, known as Laboratory 1, Laboratory 12, and Chimera as covert research facilities of a secret police agency. So they basically got prisoners from their sites, and then they were exposed to a number of deadly poisons.
Yeah.
From the purpose to find out what had happened.
See, I don't see anything wrong with that with life sentence people.
Why?
Because at a certain point, you're going to need
you've got to worry about side effects. There's a difference between killing someone and just killing them humanely.
Don't get me wrong.
And then putting them through a fate worse than death.
Well, no, obviously you'd do all the experimentations, but to bring it to human trials, and you think there may be a little something wrong with it, we can't be 100%, but we don't want to put it into a civilian who hasn't done anything wrong.
Well,
then for a lifer, I would say give them the choice if they would want to go through this experiment or not.
Well, they tested a variety of stuff. They basically, poisons included mustard gas, ricin, digitoxin, amongst others. Men and women were brought in for of various ages and physical conditions, and they were brought to the laboratories and given the poisons as medicines as part of their meals and drinks. So again, it's administered basically through foods and drinks, isn't it, all the time?
Yeah.
Again, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Well,
or off-brand fucking third party.
Never drink the Kool-Aid.
Third party aid drink.
Yeah.
Flavor aid.
Yeah, some cheap shit. Don't touch it, man.
Again, North Korea. Several North Korean defectors were basically describing cases of human experimentation. One alleged that experiments were on 50 women who were prisoners will be given poison cabbage leaves.
All right.
All 50 women were dead within 20 minutes.
Fucking hell.
Others describe experiments including surgery on prisons without anaesthesia. Also, loads of other unspeakable stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, imagine these torture movies, where they've got them like doing like in a chair and they're tied to the chair and they get the guy in and he opens his kit bag. Yeah. These are the types of fucking situations these people were finding themselves in.
Well, you could go on the dark net right now and see that.
I don't want to see that shit.
I don't want to see that shit, but people do go on there to see that shit.
Well, yeah, I know, but don't go out there looking for it. Do you know what I mean? You can get in trouble for that stuff now anyway. Weren't there a chap who got kind of done in for like getting sent memes, but like dodgy memes to his phone? There was 3 of them. And one of them pleaded not guilty because at the end of the day, it's like he's in a WhatsApp group. Yeah. And he was getting sent stuff.
But he wasn't sending anything.
Well, was he? I don't know.
Well, if he wasn't sending anything, he could call that. But if he was sending something, well, no, you're actually joining in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course you are. Yeah, exactly.
So they've got to prove that he was joining in. If he sent stuff, then yeah. But if he didn't and he was just receiving it, then on my mind, no, because he didn't ask. Unless he turned around and said, I asked for that to be sent across to my phone, then he's an innocent party until proven guilty.
Yeah. Have you found out any crazy experiments?
Yeah, there's a Russian one about sleeping. They wanted to test the
what was like sleep deprivity.
Yeah.
How did that go? Because I think people kind of can go a while without sleep.
Record is 11 days.
11 days?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, there's a lot of people who claim not narcolepsy, what's the other one? Insomnia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've got a bit of that.
Well, no, I used to. There was times when, like, I could not sleep at all. I was up for, like, 2 or 3 days at a time.
Yeah.
But
Mary Jane helps me.
Now, I'm just like, I actually sleep quite well.
Yeah.
I don't have any issues there. But
yeah, they kept I think it was about 5 prisoners in a room, left them awake, drugged them up to keep them awake, and then after I think it was after 2 days they were going a bit naughty, so they decided to let them have a day or 2 of sleep. So they got a bit of sleep and they went even more naughtier. So they ended up spraying this gas in there to try and control them more. So about 7 days in on it, they walked in and the state of the people was unbelievable. They were like, I don't know what was in this gas, but they were defigured themselves.
Really?
To a degree where you could look at them and say, you look like an alien grey.
Really? Like,
they really went to work on themselves, not on each other, on themselves.
There was a thing about that. There was a couple of like drugs that were going around Russia a while ago where people were literally kind of fucking themselves up like that.
Yeah.
But they were. Yeah. It was a bit more gruesome than that. It was a bit more like a zombie virus or something.
Yeah, wasn't that
crocodile?
Oh no, I thought it was monkey dust. That monkey dust that was going on. That's the one that you take control of someone's mind.
Well, the monkey dust. No, that's not. That's devil's dust or whatever it's called. I did a blog about it. It's on the website. Have a look.
We've talked about it before as well.
I've got one here.
Yeah.
The effects of radiation on testicles.
You know what? I've heard quite a bit about
Don't
these.
put your mobile phone in your pocket. Yeah. Because you'll get swollen testicles.
Well,
and you won't be able to do anything with them.
You know what? It's a little bit funny that
you'll have a mobile phone size tumour.
Because my leg last week, literally, I'm not joking.
Last week I had my phone in my pocket all week.
I didn't know what was going on.
It was hot. What? Well, between 1963 and 1973, dozens of Washington and Oregon prison inmates were used as test subjects as the basically experiment designed to test the effects of radiation on testicles. They were bribed with cash and suggestions of parole 130 inmates willingly agreed to participate in the experiments conducted by the University of Washington on behalf of the US government. In most cases, subjects were zapped with over 400 rads of radiation, the equivalent to 2,400 chest x-rays in 10-minute intervals.
Well, you know why they
zap in my balls, man. Stop zap.
You know why they did it, don't they?
Why?
It's for Christmas, isn't it? They'd have balls around. Glowing balls all around.
It was like it's like the nightlight they can't take away.
Yeah.
As a prisoner.
Red
it's like
district.
Turn that light out. It's like I can't. It's my balls are glowing.
Yeah, he's holding himself out.
But they were.
They were coughing and giving us germs. Oh, I've got a corona.
Do apologise. Basically, they were bribed and they were told that they might get something out of it that they had no intention of giving them.
Yeah.
So that's not fair, really. And it was US government as well. So they were totally on board with that.
Which government's fair?
They were like, yeah, just tell them what they want to hear. Yeah, right. In order to get the job done.
Yeah.
Because we need to know if radiation on the balls is going to be a global killer.
Is it going to be a global thing? Is it going to be the next in thing?
Shit, man. It's like, right. Well, no, because it could be a global killer. Radiation on the balls could be a fucking a global killer if you can't produce.
They're going to fucking make
the
it
babies.
Yeah.
Then, and if all your sperm's irradiated and you do have a kid, then it's going to be like a mutant superhero.
Hey, well, if you're the only person who hasn't got it radiated, you're a lucky fella. That's all I got to say on that one. If you've not
got radiated sperm?
Yeah, you're a lucky fella.
Why is most people got radiated sperm?
Well, if you got radiated sperm, you ain't they ain't going nowhere. They're swimming backwards.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? But if you're the only one who hasn't been radiated, the girls are going to come knocking.
Listen, well, true that actually. But what it's like, you're the last man on earth who can procreate.
Yeah,
it's like everyone else is delivering X-Men.
Yeah.
You're the only one who can.
Yeah.
I just go with the X-Men. Just go. It's life, man. It's
but if you're not going to be able to procreate and like no one is, then we're.
It seems like there's a lot of kind of experimentation on prisoners. Do you know what I mean?
So in a way, like they agreed to it. I agree to it. Give it up to the individual to agree or not.
Well, perhaps one of the benefits of inmates...
It's cheap, isn't it?
Getting experimented on.
Yeah. It's cheap. Well, they're getting free housing, free food, free security. Man, you need to do something for society now.
One of the benefits they felt was because, they were in isolation anyway. They were They knew where they were at all times, basically.
Yeah.
So they were easy to
watch him lean over going,
also had easy access to the area doctors.
Yeah.
In that case, they were basically on the downside. These doctors also had access to the inmates. So, they were able to do unregistered experiments on people. In 1913 to 1951, Dr. Leo Stanley... he was the chief surgeon at San Quentin. Used prisoners to test on and used them as test subjects for a variety of bizarre medical experiments. Stanley's experiments included sterilization, and basically give them Spanish flu.
Oh, you're joking?
No. In one particular disturbing experiment, Stanley performed a testicular transplant.
Yeah.
And on one living patient,
Whoa.
And used the testicles from fucking hell, from a goat.
What?
Yeah, it was rather from a goat, and one from a goat, one from a boar.
What? So he had one goat testicle and one boar testicle. What the fuck?
Yep. Oh wait,
could he use them though?
One executed prisoner as well. He did one. He used their balls as well.
Whoa! What? So he had 3 balls?
Fuck knows. It says
that's a bit.
It says that Stanley performed a testicular transplant on a living prisoner using testicles from an executed prisoner, and in one case from a goat and a boar. So he's done it more than once.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So he's a bit of an expert.
It's like, I wonder what the effects of I would. If he makes it, will he be able to make goat children?
Imagine what if they give him big balls.
Mr. Tumnell's fucking running around there like that, fucking trying to lead you to Narnia.
I don't even know you'd be able to fucking walk after you've had your balls chopped off and then someone else
blowing his fucking whistle. Come to Narnia with me. Meet the witch.
What?
Aslan's waiting for you. Just come through my wardrobe.
Oh, they must have used him for sex afterwards. They must have to see what would happen.
Well, yeah, but that's part of the experiment, isn't it? It's
so
like
the guy's probably been offered sex and he's like, yeah, all right.
No, if you're sat there pondering, I wonder what would happen if I transplant the balls from this guy to another guy, or the testicles of a boar or a pig or whatever, a goat, into a
chicken,
guy. Right, that's part one of the experiment, innit? Right, that's just part one.
Yeah.
Part two is, can it procreate?
Yeah, get down and dirty now.
Right? Now, I mean...
but then you've got the victim of the woman who's going to be...
Well, you've got the life of the child of or the monstrosity that you're creating. Also, the mother's now got to mother this fucking beast.
Yeah, but then that goes against a lot of international laws then, so it'd have to be aborted straight off. That's fucked, man.
Yeah, totally. But they were doing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, and a lot worse.
Yeah, so he did some testicle business.
It's
always on the testicles, isn't it?
I know. Leave our man junk alone, man. You know what I mean? Leave my crystal ball alone.
Hashtag leave my man junk alone.
Yeah,
might be a bit of a wordy one, that one.
Hey, yeah, well, it is a mouthful.
That's what she said. Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh dear. We're getting dirty now.
They come thick and fast. That's what
he said.
Yeah, well, talking about coming thick and fast.
Yeah.
There was. I'm trying to find it now because it was.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Because it's Taylor's favourite experimentation.
Oh,
it was down to it was the Tea Party.
Oh yeah, the Tea Party. Yeah, go on, tell me about this Tea Party that you keep going to.
I'm trying to find the business now on it, Jill.
Yeah, I've heard you've had a lot of business there.
Sure. Oh man, where is it?
Oh, don't tell me you lost it.
I'll find it. I've just got a lot of paper today.
You have.
So come on, tell us something about more some more business.
Well, I'll tell you one of the worst countries for torture.
Go on.
And giving a human being a lot of pain, and that was the torture from Japan. Especially with POWs, you know, from World War II.
Yeah.
The amount of sick shit. I mean, you've heard of the 1,000 cuts, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
1,000 cuts to bleed you out. It'd take 1,000 cuts to kill you by just scratching you, doing this, that, and the other. And that's just the soft part. You know what I mean? It was. I've heard some stories of some nasty shit that went on over there.
Yeah, then, I mean, I've got absolutely loads here. I've got about 30 cases.
We're a sick society
of
in the past.
You know, rather countries or governments, and I'm trying to find certain cases that, you know, there's some that are quite disturbing.
Yeah,
there's some that are pretty funny. You know, and you know, that's
even though it's not
funny. Yeah,
but in some, you've got to put it in the contents of you're looking at it outside as it's not happening, but it has, or it is doing.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? I mean, oh God, I don't even know where this has gone now. I did have it written down here somewhere.
You did.
But I'll find it. We'll come back to that one.
Yes, we will.
Because I've got loads, like I say. One that's piqued my interest was electroshock treatment. Do you know what I mean? Because we've done MK Ultra, right? And obviously MK Ultra was a big one. Because that was just super duper human experimentation on a fucking level that was, you know, just ridiculous.
You want to listen to that? We did an episode on that a bit ago now.
I think it's one of them topics though that I'd like to go back to at some point, because it's one of those, you know, there's probably stuff we missed. And, you know, and obviously
extra stuff.
The thing is about our old episodes as well is that when we were operating on one mic, sometimes it feels like we're talking over each other.
Whereas, we had discussion. We had a little problem at certain points, didn't we, when we first started?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's one of them where it's
sorted out now.
So
it's so good.
yeah. So yeah, experimentation on children with electroshock treatment was one that kept coming up.
Yes.
And
we've had that since we used to do that in the 18th.
Well, like in the
19th century,
1960s, Dr. Bender of New York, Cedar Moore Hospital began what he believed to be a revolutionary treatment for children with social issues. Electroshock therapy, Bender's method, was introduced by interviewing and analysing sensitive children in front of a large group, then applying general amounts of pressure to the child's head. Supposedly, any child that moved with the pressure was showing early signs of schizophrenia. Yeah, and basically the victims of misunderstood children. Bender was a bit of a dick. Do you know what I mean? It was like he was always doing.
Well, the amount of experiments they did. I mean, it used to be quite a lot in the nutter's yard. You know what I mean? Like you'd drill in the head, you'd drill into the spine and stuff like that. You'd throw needles into muscles or into cavities where it had massive pain receptors. They used to do all sorts of experiments just to. And the electric shock, that's been used so many times. Not so much now. I think they're allowed to use it for a certain amount, but the voltage through it would have been a lot lower now than what was back in them days, because they didn't understand what's going on. And if you think about it, who is the first torturer who you would actually go to?
Well, I haven't. Are they in the yellow pages?
No,
that's the thing, isn't it?
You will go through it.
Who do you go? How do you find a torture?
Doctors, dentists. You need.
Oh, mate, don't go there.
Had to do all them. I mean, ship's doctor back in the day, chopping your leg off. Oh yeah, you got a bit of bruising there, son. Yeah, let me just get the axe all out.
Yeah, it's got to come off that, mate.
Yeah, I know nothing. I used to work in the kitchens, mate.
Yeah, it's well, this is it. It's like if you were a criminal, and you've been shot in a heist or whatever. Yeah. You see it all the time. They always go to the vet. Yeah. They've got a criminal fucking dodgy vet friend who does a bit of weekend surgery on the side.
We wouldn't be where we are today.
We wouldn't be here where we are today if it wasn't for veterinarian services.
We wouldn't know half the amount of stuff that we know now on illnesses.
Well.
If we didn't do all that in the past.
Well, you Tea Party fucking sex study.
Have you got your Tea Party
now?
I
found it now. Yeah, the Tea Party sex study.
Where am I going?
Well, I'll give you the address in a bit. It was a sociological experiment by Lord Humphreys.
Is he going to be there?
He often wondered about men who committed basically sexual acts with another person in a public restroom.
Oh, right.
So he wondered why tea room sex, which is basically sex or fellatio in a public restroom.
Right.
So he led a major study on it. Yeah. And the majority of homosexual arrests in the United States
were because of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
shit.
Humphreys decided to become a watch queen.
Oh, right.
So the person who kept watch for the cops.
Ah, right.
So he ended up becoming involved. He was a lookout.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair dues.
But basically, he observed hundreds of acts of fellatio and interviewed many of the participants.
What? You mean he watched?
Yeah,
and filmed.
He was a cook. That's what he was. Yeah, he was like, I'm just doing this for research.
You sure it's not a movie?
And he's going home to his wife, going, "It's all research."
Yeah, listen, honestly, love it. It is research.
I'm not doing anything. He found that 54% of his subjects were married.
Right.
And 38% were very clearly neither bisexual or homosexual.
Right.
Humphreys researched the a staggering number of stereotypes held by both the public and the law enforcement were bullshit.
The law, when was that?
This was back in... Oh, God, it's not even got a date.
It's got to have been time ago.
Oh, it would have been time ago. Yeah, but it was probably
the laws were a little different. And
let's go outside in the sunshine. Yeah. So
I was thinking of that one exactly. George Michael changed the path there a little bit.
There you go. Do you know what I mean? He was like a pioneer.
Yeah.
So what else have we got here? Come on.
Go on, you must have another sicko there.
I've got a few, to be honest, boys. Do you know what? When you kind of cherry picking, I need a highlighter. You know, if you want to give to the Patreon, so we can get some highlighters.
Yeah, we could do with some.
That'll do us quite nicely.
That'll get you better episodes because you'll be on bang, got there.
What? Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, you know I'm right.
Well, there was this guy. They were doing. It was Willowbrook State School.
Yeah.
This was back in 1950. In the 1950s.
Yeah.
It was a New York state-run mental kind of handicap school.
Right.
Yeah, for children. With disabilities. They basically started a breakout of hepatitis.
What the fuck?
Due to an unsanitary conditions. It was virtually fucking...
grabbing the money and fucking the kids off.
Yeah, basically not doing anything, to kind of keep up the upkeep of the place. The children would basically contract hepatitis. Was he basically testing it on them?
He sounds like he was experimenting, as in what would we do if we left them in this condition?
Proposed as an experiment that would basically help develop a vaccine. So he'd used all these children as guinea pigs, basically. It's a human experimentation, isn't it?
Yeah, but they weren't asked permission and he wasn't.
No, so that's the point, isn't it? They never are, most of the time.
No.
They're told one thing.
Yeah, because they get told no, because that experiment is too violent on the body, or you'll end up killing someone, or basically them kind of options. So if you're not going to, if the governments aren't going to allow it in open public, that they're going to do it, then obviously they're going to go in the back areas and go the underground and do it that way. In the back
areas.
Well, yeah, that's why we got underground, because things on top don't always work.
Yeah, that's true,
know what I mean?
actually.
So you go the underground.
Well, initially established in 1950, a sub-project of the CIA, this was Operation Midnight Climax.
Oh, what them dodgy fuckers been up to now?
So basically, this was mind control research. So Operation Midnight Climax sought the study and the effects of LSD on individuals in San Francisco and New York.
Right.
They basically got subjects who were lured to safe houses. This is what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
So they were lured with, basically the CIA would get them on the payroll.
Yeah.
Unwillingly give them LSD and then other mind-altering substances.
See what happens.
Then they'd observe them behind a one-way glass. Although the safe houses were shut down in 1965, when it was discovered that the CIA were basically administering LSD to human subjects, Operation Midnight Climax was threatened by, they were going to take it down.
Yeah. It was getting too public.
But then some of the big executives were on kind of being done for sexual blackmail.
Whoa! So they actually did get done. Finally, someone got done for this kind of shit.
Yeah. So as well as kind of like having surveillance on other people, to have a bit of pull.
Yeah.
And the use of the mind altering drugs in the field.
Fuck, man.
Obviously stop doing it, but
Well, they needed to
they say they stopped
the market.
I always think that when they say they stop doing these things, they don't. They just move it.
Yeah, they just hide it more underground. That's all.
Exactly. It's like we're being compromised.
We'll put the budget as bog roll in £1 billion.
Yeah. What was that off?
That was the White House's statistics on a year worth of bog roll.
Yeah, but that's it. A lot of shit's going into black budget because it's like you've got to be clever with your books, haven't you? Really?
Yeah, and don't forget, 22 trillion has disappeared over the last 20 years.
It's true.
Where's it gone?
Always goes somewhere, doesn't it?
But that amount of money, you could, how big is the project?
How do you mean?
Well, if you start a project, you want to start a project where it joins up with another project and another one and make it as big as possible that no one can tackle it. The Space Force
that'll be at the minute. It's like that to me. It's like I reckon they've been working on it a while. And now you need more money, 46. And it's easier just to say we're doing this thing, get a proper budget for it, and then you're actually getting a budget for the thing that you were siphoning off for in the beginning, and now you can use the money that you were siphoning off for other things. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because you're able to still siphon,
and then have some disaster happen, like the worst one in America. Happen a few days before the announcement of where this money was coming from, and then all of a sudden it's all washed away, and all the records were actually in the place that got terrorised. So you're getting rid of evidence as well as other people getting money from the actual terrorised. It's all these kind of networks that are all fucked up, and experimentation.
It's fucked up, isn't it? I mean, I think again, when it comes to experimentation for the good of man, now I reckon there's a lot of vaccines and stuff that have been produced that have had human trials. Everything, I mean,
there was not that long ago in Manchester.
I love how when they say we wasn't tested on animals, but then you're like, well, was it tested on people?
Well, you need to test it on something. We have nothing to test it on apart from animals that are closer to our physiology on what we want to find out what's going to go on.
Yeah, exactly. So other areas of human experimentation has been studies into human basically exploration to fallout radiation. There's been obviously Project MK Ultra studies into mind control.
Cults.
Studies. Well, cults. I mean, like we were saying about Jonestown. If you'd like, it's a social experiment.
Nexus, was it?
Nexium.
Nexium. That's the one.
Yeah.
Where they were torturing pregnant women in front of kids and stuff. And there was loads of sick shit going on behind the ground. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, and this is it. It's like, well, is it human experimentation or is it just fucking torture?
That's the thing. That's for forcing the people who are watching it to obey the orders of the people who are doing it.
Well, that's fair. That's just fear mongering.
Exactly. And it's a harder.
This is the line you see, because you've got a few right. I mean, there's torture for information. Yeah. Right. Now, torture's torture.
Yeah, but it's sort of been proven that it doesn't actually bring out the results that you're after.
Well, generally speaking, it's proven method because people still do it.
Well, no, but people lie on it as well.
Torture is a proven method of getting information out of somebody, and unless you're James Bond. Yeah, if I got you tied to a chair and I started fucking pulling your fingernails out, you'd tell me whatever the fuck I wanted to know.
Yeah, no, I'd tell you what you want to know, not what you should know.
Oh, I don't know, under fucking... Mate, it's like I've watched people on YouTube eating hot wings, right, with hot sauce on it, and they're being answered questions, and they break down. That's just eating hot wings. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Because Taylor's been into the superhuman program. Taylor's.
Well, no, it's just
we have the power, we have the technology, we can rebuild him.
No, well, it depends. What you're
he's got
protecting.
Eagle eye.
What are you protecting? Let's say it's I don't know. It's to stop my family being slaughtered. Then I'm gonna lie
these
to
levels.
a certain degree.
I'd say these levels of stuff, but I mean. It depends what the situation is.
You don't really know unless you're in that situation.
Yeah, fair. All right then. All right then.
Well, I would like to think I would last as long as I could and push it that little bit further.
One study, we'll make this the last one because time's ticking on. We need to get on with the news as well.
Yeah.
But one study was called the Monster Study.
Yeah.
In 1939, a University of Iowa researched Wendell Johnson and Mary Tudor basically concluded basically an equivalent. They were doing experiments on 22 orphan children, basically, in the Davenport area of Iowa. Yeah. The children were separated into two groups, the first of which received positive speech therapy, where children were, having problems.
Yeah.
The second group were basically given negative speech therapy.
Okay.
Right. Where they were berated every time the speech basically wasn't imperfect. Imperfect. It's fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah.
What people think is worth an experimentation.
But it's psychology and it works.
Well,
this is the thing.
Normal speaking children in the second group developed speech problems with which then they retain for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Terrified by the news of the human experimentation conducted by the Nazis, Johnson and Tudor never published the results of the monster study.
Yeah, I fucking bet it didn't.
So basically, why call it the monster study as well? Is it like they're saying they've created a monster?
Well, it's trying to turn someone's personality, if you think about it, because it's giving them a social construct that isn't to the degree of actually what's going on out there, and giving them all the bad vibes. This is what you shouldn't do, blah blah, this, that, and the other. But then on the other side, yeah, I mean, like I said, it happens all the time. It's like when you go shopping or when you're on your phone, you're being manipulated to take them cookies. You're being manipulated to
take the cookies.
Sign this. You're manipulated to put your email address in, put this in, put that in, do this, do that, and people can easily get tricks. That's why like fraud is like the biggest thing on the market in criminal activities, because people are being told one thing and actually another thing's happening, but they're not realising what until it's too late.
They don't know until it's too late.
You know what I mean? And it's all about.
Well, like I say, I think in terms of like for the betterment of man, they should be able to kind of do it to an extent. The people who are volunteering should be volunteering because the person who it's happening for the right reasons
has got to agree.
Yeah, definitely. So I think there's definitely got to be more sort of control on these things.
Yeah. But then again, could you put the thing in of?
But you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. These are all things that. Do you think that this was public information when it was happening?
No, definitely not.
Not at all.
Hell
Any
no.
of these things, and there's absolutely. I've got a list of 30 of these kind of cases.
Yeah.
From every country.
Yeah.
Right, where they've got something dodgy going on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
What is it to say that these things aren't happening now? Do you know what I mean?
And
then it goes back to your fucking conspiracy earlier about Corona, because it does not. I would not put it past humanity. There is some idiot out there who's just sat wondering what would happen if I did this, this, and this, and what would the result be.
The SARS was the first one; it didn't work right, and they perfected it
And it's like that 12 Monkeys movie. All it took was him to just release that vial in the airport, and it was fucking done, wasn't it?
That's it, yeah.
So
I say, don't forget, it only takes one germ.
It only takes a minute, girl,
to destroy the whole world. You could destroy the whole world with one germ if you perfected it rightly.
Fucking get it in the right place.
Yeah.
Right, again, this is not a guide to doing
anything.
No, it's not.
No.
Well, there you go.
A lot of people out there want to live.
What are your opinions on this matter? Do you think human testing is, necessary?
Necessary evil,
Is it something that needs to be done to, for the betterment? Or I mean, these are the extreme. We've talked about extreme, examples of human experimentation tonight.
But less extremes happening all the time.
There has been a lot of good cases where people have stepped forward and said, you can test on me. Human testing in terms of leaving your body to medical science. Yeah. Einstein left his brain. Look how much grey matter they found there. They made an experiment and worked out that it was all down to grey matter. So that made you brainy.
Brainy
grey matter. I'm full of grey matter.
Yeah,
well, maybe
I'm just full of it, mate.
I'm just chocked full of the shit. Well, what was it? No grey matter here.
Yeah, the grey's gone, mate.
It's gone. It's gone. It's fucking something matter out of something else.
Was it there in the first?
So maybe, maybe not. So, like I say, there's been a lot of kind of good that come from science and human experimentation as well. Don't always look at the negatives. But if you've got an idea and you think, do you know what? Can I just do an experiment, even just on your housemates or whatever? Do psychological experiments?
Yeah.
Do you?
You know what? I do it myself.
What, do experiments on people?
I experiment on myself.
How do you mean? Well, you know what's going on. How the idea of being experimented on.
It depends on the experiment. I don't go
you don't
harsh
really know what's
experiment
going
on myself, but I go and experiment I'm going to go downstairs.
I did 50 jumping jacks yesterday. Oh. Let's see if I can do 60 today.
Stuff like if I went downstairs and I needed to, let's say, make a cup of tea. Right. Can I do it without this arm?
Can I do it hopping on one leg?
Can I do it? Yeah, I experiment certain things if I could do certain things if I didn't have...
so if it was in a situation where... I'd lost
my arm was out of commission for a month or something,
and I had to be able to make a brew or roll
could I survive without this arm? No, as long as you don't take me right arm away, I'm happy.
Well, you see, it's a difficult one I play guitar.
Yeah,
it's a difficult one because your left hand's the one that's the important.
Yeah,
one.
But have you tried it?
What?
Have you tried it the other way around without using your arm?
Well,
one of your arms.
Have you ever tried playing the guitar with one arm?
No, but think of the experiment and yourself. Could you do that? Do you think you could do that? Right, well, all right, whatever your answer is,
got me. It's dumb as fuck, but I get where you're coming from.
You know what I mean? So
it's sometimes it's like what you're saying is sometimes around the house I tie up one leg.
No, I do it at work
and at work, and then I try and see if I can complete my task
the normal way. How could I do it another way?
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? It's so.
But you could do that. It's could I do my daily job whilst on roller boots?
Could I work for a whole week living off just pickles? There you go.
Could you? Do you think you could? No, that's a horrible experiment.
No.
It's almost reminded me of Super Size Me.
Like the nuts,
No, Super Size Me is a great example of this because obviously that's a self-experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a human experiment that, there's no one else you're hurting apart from yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to eat Big Macs every day or what was Super High Me, which is just a way of life, isn't it, really? I don't know what that documentary is about. Is it just a documentary on a guy? Just some guy who's just living
life a little interesting.
Living my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I'm going to get high every day for 30 days. It was
why not?
Right,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Good lad.
Good man.
What did you feel? I mean, like I did with food. I stopped eating chocolate. Stopped eating crisps. I started eating a little bit more healthily. And then I did it for about a month, and then at the end of the month, I thought, you know what? What would be the experience of I've cleaned my body to a certain degree? What happened if I start eating junk food all tonight?
Oh, you'd feel like crap.
The next morning, I felt so
that phrase,
shit.
You are what you eat, mate, is
which proves to me that it's a part of it is down to the food and the way, and that's the same with I'm known for eating nuts at work.
He does. He loves nuts.
And it was basically an experiment on nuts, on protein and stuff like that. So I experimented it on myself.
Okay.
Well, I did the same with a certain amount of fruit for a certain amount of days, or I can only have one beer a week. or I can cut down my smoking. I can only have. I did that with smoking as well. It's sort of like that, and I've done it several times with smoking. But then I found myself
going, do you know what? I'll celebrate.
What can I put in the way? But there was nothing there. You know what I mean?
The
so
thing
I
is, there's definitely like ways that you know, I definitely do that. I definitely kind of see what you know, if I can push my limits.
Yeah,
if I can kind of make that journey on my bike a
little bit harder,
quicker, or if I can push myself a little bit further. You know, and that's a good thing to do.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with testing your limits.
Yeah,
and you know, experimenting on
yourself.
A hell
of a lot farther than you think.
Just don't do like that. You know, in Ghostbusters when he goes like, you know, you remember when I stopped you from drilling a hole in your head?
Oh yeah,
goes, that would have worked if you wouldn't have stopped me.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if I put a bullet in my head this way, it'd be all right.
No, it'd be sweet. Honestly, I'll make it. Trust me, I've worked it out. I've done the math.
Some money here.
I've done the math, guys.
Yeah.
If anyone ever comes to you and says, I'm going to do this thing, don't worry, I've done the math. Just say you're not doing it.
Yeah, you're a nutball, right?
You're a fucking idiot.
You got right. Put me in the padded cell.
Right. Well, that's it for this end of this segment.
Yeah.
Basically, the main topic. We're going to go into the news.
We are
in just a sausage of a second.
Woohoo.
So, before we go into the news, we're going to give you a bit of an advert. It's not really an advert, but today's episode, it's associated with Audible. Yeah. Get yourself over to Audible. There'll be a link in the description. And you can sign up for a free 30-day trial.
I'll go for that.
And you get a free book. Yeah, get a free audio book. What was the last audio book you listened to, Taylor?
Me, Lord Justice of Summer. It was to do with... but I found out some good...
I bet that was a really interesting drive.
It wasn't actually. It was very droll.
I bet it was.
It was fucking proper droll. And I was listening to it at work. And I listened to it about several times. But it was like massive bits of info, and I only took certain snippets that I wanted to learn certain bits about.
Yeah, so you're saying
and
that
I found out where manslaughter come from.
Excellent.
The reason why manslaughter was brought out.
Well, the book I chose from Audible on my 30-day trial was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline.
Right.
The film's okay, but the book's great. But this is narrated by Will Wheaton.
Oh right.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it, and recommend it. So you can go over to Audible. There'll be a link in the description. Get your 30-day trial.
Go for it.
And if you don't like it, cancel it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no skin off our nose. Yeah.
Just get your book and cancel it then.
Yeah,
Fine,
get yourself your book. Get Missing 411.
Yeah.
Get your free book.
Yeah. There's loads of information books out there at the minute.
Totally, there's loads. In fact, I've been posting a few Jim Jones one and one on Oak Island, which we've got an episode coming up on.
Yes, we have.
Midweek. And we've got nothing else to talk about, so let's go into the news.
Yeah, news.
It's a news.
Ba-bum.
Yeah, we've got a bit of news.
We live.
Did you see that about Elon Musk?
No.
Well, there's been a time travel photo going around. Basically, there's an old photograph that's going around about Elon Musk,
and he's been brought up before.
It has been brought up. We've brought up a few people because he's been like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
He's been what was he called? Put the bunny
Obama.
back in the box. What was he called? Nicolas Cage.
Yes. Yeah.
A few other people, have kind of come up where they look alike. He's
yeah.
in an old photograph.
Yeah.
And people have gone, fucking hell, that looks like so and so. Well, the one of Elon Musk came up, and he's basically come forward and said he come onto Twitter and said,
yes, it was me.
Well, maybe. No, he's basically said it ain't him.
Ain't he sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. The proof is looking like kind of. You know what I mean? So he might be lying to you. Never know. Well, if he is a time traveller, he's doing a good job at the minute. Well, realistically,
he came. What was he? He came onto Twitter and said, "I am 3,000 years old."
Yes, and I am the Lord of everything.
No, Elon Musk has dismissed a long-running conspiracy theory that he's actually
a time traveler,
or any sort of... I mean, the thing is, Elon Musk, if anybody's going to be able to do it, Elon Musk's the guy. Do you know what I mean?
Well, not necessarily. Well, it's whoever's pulling these strings.
What do you mean?
Well,
the thing is, if you've got the money, right, you've seen what they're doing, right? If I've got the money to go, do you know what? I think I'm going to put it all into space travel. Yeah. You've obviously got more money than you need because you've sat there one day. It's like these guys who are doing the human experimentation. It's like they sat there going, what can I fucking do? I'm bored. Yeah. Can I do this?
Well, yeah.
It's like if you think that people like Elon Musk haven't got time travel divisions working on time travel right now,
of course he had.
Then I think something's up.
Of course he had.
Obviously.
But has it already been discovered or not?
But that's what I think. I think it might have
it's already been discovered.
I think we already know that it's theoretically possible.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
But it's another thing to say, it's being used right now.
And another question is it just our technology or not?
Well, you can go into all that Mandela effect bullshit and say, is it the Mandela effect because people are changing history by going back and doing little things and...
Yeah, but it is a mystery that, like...
butterfly effects
that you haven't got. You haven't got the answer to it. It's the same as, like, UFOs, but it's... Well, it shouldn't be really called UFOs. It should be called saucers because UFOs is unidentified flying object. So it could be a plane, it could be an helicopter, it could be a man flying in the sky.
Well, they're alien craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. So is that an alien craft or not? Are we being visited or not? It's still the same old questions where we haven't got the answers. But I'll tell you what, I've been watching the X-Files lately. The other night I watched the X-Files and
which one was it?
It was when Mulder got kidnapped
and
put in a UFO, and he was sending Alien Hunter to go and get that little kid. Can't remember his name, Perry. In an earlier episode, he knew where aliens were, and he was being experimented on or stuff like that. Basically, he could read your minds and stuff like that. So he was sent to kill him, and there was something that Scully said, and it's possibly so true that why do we see UFOs?
And well, I don't. That's the problem. I want to see a UFO, but I don't ever see them.
What about abductions as well? And is it a possibility that they're cleaning up the mess that people are finding out about UFOs, and they don't want people to know? Not only the government are doing it, but so are the aliens doing it, as in taking you in your sleep or transferring a bug on you, or a piece of something on you. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
They brought up the question to me, like, you know what, you're so right on. I mean, there's been so many deaths as well, and so many mysterious deaths, not like straightforward. That it's a big thing that I believe it's still going on.
Yeah, I can believe it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Have you got any news you want to talk about?
Oh, we've just got a result in the UK that for hundreds of years we've been getting older and older and older and older. Now that's stopped.
What do you mean? It's stopped? What, aging? Aging stopped?
Aging, as the generation gets on, you live longer.
Oh, so we're not going to end up living like to 200 basically.
Yeah,
we've hit a peak.
We've hit a little bit of a peak. Yeah,
that's fair.
But
there was somebody was what was it, 111 the other day?
Yeah.
Or was it the 100? Maybe it was I read that it was the man who was the oldest man had died.
See,
I don't know. I can't remember.
I
hope he's not, because obviously.
Well, he's going to die.
Well, I got into a conversation about, obviously in England, the Queen sends a birthday card to any citizen who
sends her
100 years old. That's
She's
what I thought.
There.
And then I wondered, did she have to send her mother one? But then she sends her one every year, didn't she? Well, she got to 102, I think.
Was it
103?
Was it?
The Queen Mum, yeah.
Jesus. Man.
Generally, I think so.
Yeah, she would have got it from Queen.
Yeah, she definitely would have got one as a joke, I would have thought.
Yeah,
Mum, I got you a card.
Big joke inside her a fart when she
opens it. You do me one every year.
Oh, what the... You done it again.
Oh, she got me. She was a card, the Queen Mum as well.
Yeah, I like the Queen Mum.
Yeah. She ran up loads of debt and then went, fuck you. And died. Excellent.
Yeah.
Great role model.
Yeah, she knew how to do it.
Yeah, she knew how to broil.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a royal who knew how to broil.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm trying to think I've got any more news. I've got bits. I found this. Astronomers have spotted an explosion in space. They reckon it's the biggest explosion in the universe, and it's punctured a hole in space.
Oh.
Now, this is according to the Daily Star, so I don't know how legitimate it is. But experts believe that an explosion with a black hole in one of the galaxies, in a galaxy of cluster of stars, which has basically thousands of individual galaxies within.
Yeah.
And this explosion's just took it all out.
But
it would have happened how many years ago if we would have seen it, only just seen it now?
Yeah, it would have happened
so
time ago.
There's no point dwelling on it.
I don't know about that.
Why?
I don't know about that. Right. Well, as the theory goes, because all the time it's changing, especially at the minute, there's all sorts of things that are making it change. Well, if we're hurtling through space, we're going at a certain speed. They actually do know that there was an explosion many moons ago, and it's expansion. Now, if it touches us, it'll take us out, basically, and it is behind us, but we are faster than...
We're outrunning it.
Yeah, we're outrunning it, basically, and depending on this one, it could, interfere with the planet or the solar system. It can still interfere with...
You just always remind me of that scene in Men in Black where he's like, there's always a fucking...
Yeah, there's always a
situation, isn't there? It's like, but nothing ever happens. It's such an anticlimax. We always read about these things happening and it's like, is it going to happen? No.
But that's when it happens, when you decide, you know what, instead of walking on the road and looking back every now and again because there's someone following me, you know what, I believe in them and I just carry on walking, and then you get your wallet robbed.
Yeah. Do you know last week we were talking about Google Earth?
Yeah.
Or Google Earth Mars.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag Google Earth Mars.
Yeah.
Well, Google Earth's picked up something new.
Oh, crap.
Google Earth users have found Area 51's hidden entrance.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so,
interesting.
A Google Earth image has come up from a user who's basically added to the popular Area 51 conspiracy theory by discovering a hidden entrance in the side of a mountain. The Area 51 United States Air Force facility is one of the most secret military bases in the world.
Well,
making
it's not now.
Well, it's not now, is it?
No.
To be fair, like I say, it's these things when they do discover that people are onto them, they just move it.
Yeah,
so there's probably another Area 50 summit or an area base. So they dig, go underground. Yeah,
you go under because they've got loads of tunnels to loads of bases, and the stuff from like Roswell and that moved. I think it was northwest, about 50 miles northwest to another military base.
Well, they could all be linked up. They've all tunnels
there's
and
maps.
Stuff in there.
They are linked up, and apparently underneath there you've got room to fit 52 bombers side by side with 6 inches on either side.
Well, according to conspiracy theorists, the mystery entrance could lead into Area 51. So
who's going to try it?
Well,
because it's going to be well guarded. It's not going to be easy to walk in there.
You can't just waltz in, can you? That's
be shot before you get
line.
Yeah,
it's
there's
just
no
not
way
going to happen, is it?
No.
So, been talking about the coronavirus a bit.
Yes.
So, people, there's a lot of scaremongering. It's like just generally, I've just been coming off the Star's website.
Yeah.
And their headline is coronavirus, one of many biblical plagues.
I knew this was coming up because guess what's happening in Africa?
Pointing towards the end of days.
Look what's happening in Africa at the minute. You got locusts galore. You got something like 2 billion locusts going through, and it's a country emergency.
Of course
really.
It is, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, it's like
the Bible again. The Bible will come up with, and the floods. What we're talking about. So
we
all these little things people are saying that it's the end of the day.
But we've been saying this for as long as we've been doing the podcast now, right? And we've been saying it before that, right? So I mean, I can kind of see where they're coming from.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
it's
but this is the thing with those prophecies.
Yeah.
There was a really big time period where they were saying, obviously, the rapture and all that good stuff wasn't going to happen for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We'd have to suffer all this shit before. I think it was 7 years. 7 years of turmoil
we've had
and
this
trouble.
for about fucking... Well, we haven't had a lot local...
Well, is it getting better? Is it getting worse? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is getting worse, but I don't think it's biblical. I think it's coincidence, and I also think, as it's been proven again and again, that history always repeats itself, and we don't learn from the responsibility of the past. We just continue, or we get pushed to continue the path of who's in charge to do what they do.
That's true, isn't it? Well, keeping on the coronavirus, the corona or COVID-19 update on it.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the guy who was on the cruise ship on the Princess Diana.
Yeah.
But one of them's died now. He's the first British death.
Yes.
But he didn't die over here. He died in China, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think the guy we were talking about was a chap. Last week, I think we were discussing one of the guys who did all the social media stuff.
Yeah, it's like a little roving reporter.
He's actually still kicking, but he's got it.
Yes,
and he's up obviously in quarantine in hospital and stuff.
Yeah,
but
which is fair.
There was the first case that was linked to
anyone else
happened yesterday.
Yes,
which was the 28th, 29th.
Yeah, 29th.
The 20. Yeah, I think the
28th. Sorry,
28th of February.
Yeah.
And that happened in Hazelmere, where a GP's office had to be closed down.
Yeah.
And there was another case of a school had to be closed down in UK because a child had been tested positive, and they got it from, or apparently they got it from the parents who just returned from a trip to Tenerife.
See.
Okay. But the parents didn't show any symptoms.
Yes, there's a lot of that apparently.
So
there is a lot
is
of
it
that.
a case of that some people are immune but the carriers?
Well,
or is it airborne? I think there's a lot of speculation to how this is transmitted because they don't seem to know.
Yeah, they don't seem to know. They even think now it's coming through your feces to pass on to the next person.
Well, don't be rummage around in my... don't be touching on my poos.
Bog rat, you know what I mean? Don't be a bog rat.
Don't be throwing out your poos everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, people?
Put them in the toilet, good and proper.
You know, be nice.
But then again, if consider it is in your feces and it goes through the treatment plant. Is the treatment plant good enough at the moment? Because apparently at the moment as well, they're shoving how long? There's about 10% of the treatment into the water.
The water that we're drinking, is that kind of like coming into it now?
Could it get into effect that way? There's a possibility.
Well, there's a case, it's a point where, when these problems are happening in obviously started off in China, and then it was like the government's responsibility to say, right, we've got to close shit down, everybody stay in your homes.
Yeah, only because it got caught.
How far does it need to go before that happens in other countries?
Well, I think, in Italy, you've got a major problem.
Because, Italy have actually had to close down a few...
Iran's worse at the moment because there's public holidays over there, and they've actually turned around and said that anyone visiting there, they're going to stop going to, the mosaics and places that they want to go. But how are you going to stop them?
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because people will just kind of carry on. It depends how bad they are, I suppose. But when they turn around and say self-quarantine, when you've got to stay indoors if you feel like you've got a bit poorly, made me think about like people who live on the streets. There's a lot of homeless.
Yes,
these are guys and girls who are prone
they're going to
to
be one of the biggest victims.
Prone to kind of like colds and flus and stuff because they're living in the elements.
And the people around them that are coughing and splurting on the floor and spitting on the floor.
Yeah,
around
exactly.
Them and
Well,
stuff like that.
you're thinking about them, but on the flip side as well, if they do contract it, they're not able to quarantine themselves, so they're sat on the streets.
They have to go to hospital. They'd be
all the passers-by.
Yeah, but that's like getting a disease so you can get comfort for 2 weeks. If you think about it.
Well, I wouldn't expect anyone to do that. I mean,
well, no, but in the consideration, they'd have to do that.
Well, you'd ring up NHS Direct.
But they ain't going to be told the information.
You'd ring up fucking 111, and you'd ask them and say, look,
if you've got
I live on the
streets,
streets, I feel like I've got this bug.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do? Because obviously I can't quarantine myself. I'm pretty sure they'd probably take her up to that. That quarantine place up in the Wirral.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to be fair, when I've seen any news reports on that, they've all been looked after. They've bought them everything they need.
Yeah.
So,
keep them entertained and all that, yeah.
Sort it out.
You're going to have to, aren't
so
you?
obviously, if somebody who's homeless is positive, tested positive, then,
but people are cracking under the second
sort
week.
it out. What, like stir crazy?
Yeah, people
can't handle their own
yeah.
company. That's what it is.
Even Channel 4's got Jon Snow doing it. He's had to do quarantine.
Quarantine 14 days with Jon Snow.
Yeah, there's a lot, and he's even said to himself, he's
is he going to try and get high?
Yeah,
while he's in there.
Well, no.
There was a documentary. If you've not seen it, Jon Snow, and we're not talking about Jon Snow from the Game of Thrones series.
No,
this is a BBC. No, he's a Channel 4 newsreader.
Yeah, he's a legend,
who's also called Jon Snow.
Yeah,
and he's been around a lot longer.
Check his socks out.
He did an expose on smoking weed, cannabis.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it very well.
It didn't work for him.
But to be fair, he did have a bad experience. But it was a case of they give him like a proper supercharged bong hit.
Yeah,
and it was like people were saying, it was like the equivalent of giving somebody who doesn't drink, pouring a bottle of vodka down the neck.
Yeah.
It's like the effects are that magnitude, and it was like, it's not a good sort of first experience.
Yeah, but they did it where a director was going, right, well, you got to make Jon Snow feel ill. You can't do it proper. You can't just give him a little bit. You got to make it look like the drug.
We've got to make it look like it's bad.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
and they're finding good shit out of it all the time.
Well, moving on, bit of NASA news. NASA, SpaceX Falcon, the heavy rocket is to launch. Basically they've set a date.
Right, sweet.
So it's going to basically go up on 2022.
Right. That's not that long ago.
Yeah.
To go. Yeah.
Well, they're going to launch a NASA mission to a unique asteroid.
Oh, right.
Yep. So NASA have announced that SpaceX will launch an agency led spacecraft mission in 2022.
Yeah.
The mission is to study an asteroid of the same name as the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I think that's to find out if it was the collapse of the extra planet that was supposed to be in the solar system.
That's a good shout, actually. Yeah. SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket will launch its mission in July 2022 at the cost of $117 million. This will be the first NASA science launch for the Falcon Heavy, with SpaceX also scheduled to launch several NASA missions with smaller Falcon rockets.
Good.
The Falcon 9. Following the launch
of big rocket in
the
it.
the TESS X-Planet Telescope in 2018.
Yeah, sweet.
So the launch will take place at the Launch Complex 39A at Cape Canaveral, Florida. Ooh. And I'll be looking forward to that. I'll be watching that. Yeah, in fact, we'll probably try and post the video before it goes live.
Yeah.
On the website.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Yes.
Any NASA news from you?
Mystery object in orbit around Earth.
Another one.
Last week.
Is it the Black Knight again?
Well, no, it doesn't seem to be, but they don't know what it is. But early last week, it was announced that we had a new mini moon. And it was like, ooh, interesting. Scientists say they're not confirming it is a mini moon yet.
Mini moon.
They've named it. They've called it 2020.
Sounds like Sheldon's grand's nickname for him, like Moomar.
Moomar, yeah, mini moon.
Mini moon, Moomar.
Mini Moomar.
Yeah.
There we go. They've named it 2020 CD3. But there was an object in 2006 that was sort of similar to this, and it has left our orbit. So it might only just be, a little meteorite that we held on to and then we throw out later.
Well,
so yeah.
I've got one last bit of NASA news before we move on to the shout-outs.
Yeah.
The International Space Station cameras capture a cone-shaped UFO eclipsing the Earth.
Oh, man.
Experts are claiming.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's been quite a few. I mean, quite a few.
Who are these experts? It's like getting us on.
Well, we're not experts. We're professionals.
Well,
yeah,
we're not. We don't get paid for it.
Well, yeah, that is very true. Yeah,
UFO expert reported that the UFO was leaving the Earth, was captured by the camera which was mounted on the International Space Station. The experts claim that the UFO was related to basically the spread of COVID-19 on Earth.
You know what? No.
Is everything just related to this now? Is this it? Is this what we're going to just read every story and it'll be like some fucking conspiracy theory? There
is a conspiracy theory that there's two viruses and one's covering up the other.
Well, one of it. Do you think this is what maybe that the aliens have come down to spread a bit of kind of antivirus to counteract the virus that the government have put out there to kill us all?
Well, if you're invading,
listen, right, I've got a bit of advice for everybody. Yeah. Right, yeah, just in case it all goes tits up and it ends up being a global pandemic or worse.
I'd say
right,
it already is.
Right, just delete your internet browser history now. Right.
Yes.
That drawer you've got up in your bedroom. Yeah. Just get rid.
Get rid of all them dildo love beads and all that shit. It.
Yeah.
Hide it. You get a mask
because we all
know you got one.
To be honest, if somebody, one of my friends or family has said, "Oh yeah, go and we need to clear out Jim's house."
Yeah, and then you go in there and you, what the fuck?
It's not a memory you want to have of someone, is it?
Well, no, that's true.
So if you get the symptoms, browser history. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just get rid, man.
Just stick everything in a bin bag.
Just burn your computer out. Yeah, just throw it out. Don't throw it out the window. Just burn it out completely.
You'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Don't do anything too drastic.
Unless you're good boys like us, then you should be all right.
Well, according to the warning, the security camera, which was pointed at planet Earth, captured a small dark object that was flying out away from the planet. After zooming in the video, you were able to see the shape was kind of a cone shape.
Right. I've seen this,
and it had varying colours. And
I've seen it in his whole, and there's even a speech behind it as well.
I was like, when he said he'd seen a cone-shaped objects floating in space, I was like, I knew I would drop that spliff somewhere.
I think it is the actual America's NASA has a new space shuttle craft that actually can take pilots up to space now, but they've had
Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Galactic, I should say.
Well, yeah,
they've basically been advertising outside the stock market now, just trying to get people to invest. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They've got I think 70 odd people who are doing it. They're already booked in that, but I believe they're in debt by about I think $2 billion.
Well, what was that chap who was like, I'll book an extra ticket, but you gotta love me.
Oh, yeah, but that's on his private rocket, isn't it?
No, that was on the Virgin Atlantic, the Virgin Galactic.
That's not on the Virgin Atlantic?
Yeah, he'd not got his own rocket. But talking about own rockets, that chap, did you mention him last week?
Mad
Mike.
Yeah,
he's gone up in his rocket trying to prove the Earth was flat.
Yeah, the video's on YouTube.
Now, he's done it a couple of times, and he's failed a couple of times. He did get up actually quite high, but it wasn't high enough.
Yeah.
So he's gone up again.
But the parachute had come out soon as it gone off. For some reason, I think the parachute was a little bit open. So as soon as he went off, the parachute come out, it left there, and the guy couldn't get out, and basically he crashed.
Well, all I've got to say is take my hat off to you, Mad Mike.
Yeah,
do
man.
you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, out of all the flat earthers that are out there, he
was dedicated.
You
to
were
the
a
match.
dedicated person who
Definitely.
went out there to prove your point and try and prove your cause. Because there's a lot of people who go on the internet and talk a lot of shit on comments. Yeah, but
not a lot of people go out there.
Not a lot of people are actually trying to say, do you know what? Actually, this is something I can do here. I can prove this.
Yeah.
And the guy made it further than most.
Well, yeah, that's true.
The guy nearly went into space.
Well,
so
Yeah.
There you go.
He tried. He succeeded several times, but his last success wasn't
successful enough.
No.
Well, there you go.
You know,
we've got a couple of questions.
Oh, questions.
I've got one question here. This is from the Horror Club podcast.
Oh, the Horror Club.
And they've asked, is there such thing as being too salty?
I don't know.
Now, I've got a couple of ways you could look at this, because
go on.
Scientifically speaking,
yeah.
Do you need to have? You obviously have to have,
need a certain
amount of salt in your body to function and live properly and healthily.
Yeah.
Right. So, there is such thing as being too salty.
If
you've got too much salt in your blood or your system, then
it's
not going to be good for you.
Yeah, your heart,
they say
your blood pressure goes up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they say don't drink salt water from the sea.
Yeah, no.
Because you'll start hallucinating.
Yeah, but not just salt water, it's sperm, eggs, all the shit.
Nasty shit.
Where do you think all that goes? All the gravel, all that shit that's been...
People peeing in it.
Yeah, people shitting in it. People,
mate.
And all the diesel and all the pollutants that have been put in there.
On the other hand, now you could go, you're being salty. Yeah, you're being super salty, you are. Do you know how,
Yeah, so it's still too salty.
No, but is there such thing as being too salty?
Yeah.
Nah.
As I'm in Essex. Obviously, it must mean something down in Essex. Salty. I know it has been used for...
I think, there is no such... Do you know what? There is no such thing as being too salty.
Well, there is, obviously.
No, that's what I mean.
There is such thing as being too salty, in several different ways.
Yeah, in most ways you look at it.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question.
Unless you disagree with us and you tell us. You send us feedback if we're wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we're right, though.
Gareth has asked.
Yeah, Gareth, keep trucking.
He says, based on our previous Corona episode, right, the government, I think we said that the governments weren't really taking it too seriously. Now, do you think they are now? Because Boris Johnson's not really been seen. He thinks like they are.
This is a load of baloney
I think
about
that they are
Boris.
taking it. Now, no, a lot of people are saying Boris Johnson's not really come out and doing much, but
because he's behind the back doing the other stuff. That's what I was about to say. I saw
the news report where they were saying, obviously, like, he's a doer, he's one of those, he's very good at delegating.
Look what happened to the Australia Prime Minister when he went on holiday, he come back, and then he left it for a couple more days. Then, when it was like turning round, he come out. How criticised he was for coming out then. Boris wouldn't have got a grateful response if he would have come out and the disasters. Plus, he's going to have to put more people in danger as in his security. He's supposed to be looking after the country as well as the areas that do need looking after. So he has to stay in the back and do his job. Plus, we need to sort this fucking Brexit thing out.
Listen, when Boris Johnson comes out and he's got a brushed haircut, that's when you know he's got too much time on his hands.
Yeah.
If he's looking like a scruff, it means he's busy.
He's had his head scratching all.
He's been busy.
Yeah.
Well, cheers for the questions, Gareth.
Thanks, Gareth, man.
And cheers for the question from the Horror Club podcast. Appreciate it. And big shout out to you as well.
Yeah.
If you've not subscribed, go and check their stuff out.
Yeah.
Excellent. Big shout outs. We've got lots of shout outs today, as per usual.
Yeah.
Big shout outs to our featured podcast, the Not So Minnesota Nice girls. That's Jessie G and Jen.
Girls.
Well done. Brilliant podcast. The last few have been really entertaining, so go and check out their thing. Go and subscribe.
It's a good listen.
Excellent. Big shout out to Jessie G.
Yes, Jessie.
Jessie G. And EJ,
yes,
the ginger,
EJ,
she's been doing some excellent blogs for us.
Yes, she has.
So go over to the website. Some really good stuff, actually. Yeah, she covers some just like us.
Yeah,
and obviously this is why we have her on board, because just like us, we cover a wide range of topics.
Yes, we do.
So if we're
not frightened of going there.
If you've already listened to the podcast in the week and you're scratching your head for something something more, then you can always go over to the website, and guaranteed there's going to be another blog up or something.
Shitloads of entertainment.
But yeah, EJ's been doing some sterling work for us there.
Yes, she has.
Big shout out to all our patrons as well.
Yes, Patreon.
Big shout out to Jay, Swoosh,
Swoosh,
Brookie, Dunk. So thank you for all that. If you want to help us out, you can go over and get a shout out too.
Yes, you can.
Who else am I shouting out?
My mum.
Chris. Yeah, Chris and Shawnee.
Yeah, Steve from Stockport.
Excellent. Well in, Steve. Big shout out to Dodgy Manzilla.
Dodgy Manzilla?
Yeah.
Sounds a bit dodgy, that.
Yeah, definitely. Big shout out to Mr. Shirley Crabtree.
Yes, Shirley.
Thanks for listening.
Love your work, man.
Keep it coming, man. We love you. You can tell I'm getting tired. I'm like that, man.
Yeah, you're slumping, man.
I know I am, actually. I'm like, literally, I'm slumped one arm.
Yeah. You do your neck in doing that, you know.
Big shout out to Badoosh.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Mikey. I've not seen Mikey for a while.
Yeah, he's been a bit quiet.
Also, anybody who's Agent Coulson.
Yes, Coulson.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, man.
And also, go on. What was you going to say?
I was just going to say, I saw him the other day at work.
Excellent,
good,
brilliant. It'll be nice to see you at some point.
Yeah, man.
Big shout out to Tennish Podcast.
Yes, Tennish.
Deep in History.
Yes, deep.
Always has a good listen.
Yeah, definitely.
And Unpaid Programming Podcast.
Oh, Unpaid.
Also, big shout out to everybody who's joined us on the new Facebook page.
Yes. And everybody in and over between.
Yeah, well, we got a brand new Facebook page if you want to go over there and join the community.
Yes.
That'll be excellent. It's free. You don't have to pay now.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just go in there and have a look at what we got there.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of links. Everything's linked up in it.
Yeah.
But it's like people have been bugging me going, Facebook. And we did have one.
Yeah.
But it never really took. We didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
So it was like, we've just set up a new one.
Yeah.
So that's up and running.
Nice and fresh.
Got people coming. Got friends already joined.
Yes.
So yeah, if you listen, get on there. Few things before we finish. I think that's all the shout outs.
Yeah, I think.
What else? So yeah, if you want to get involved and you've got a fucked up town, get involved. Send us an email.
Yeah, give us the info for that.
At neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. Tell us about your fucked up town. If you've got a personal story about something that's happened to you, then let us know. Everyone lives in a fucked up town. We live in a fucked up world.
Yeah, fucking damn right.
We're going to try and geographically map the world in fucked up stuff. Fucked up stuff.
Yeah, there's fucked up stuff there everywhere, and we want to know the story and history.
If you've got a story, tell us.
Yeah,
right.
We love it.
Like we say, you can get over to the website, and there's plenty of good stuff over there. You can get downloadable episodes. You can check out blogs.
Yeah,
articles from myself, Taylor, and EJ.
Yeah.
Also, just all sorts of stuff. YouTube videos. Get a load packed, man.
Yeah,
packed to the rafters.
Yeah, and we got more on the way.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about more on the way, if you want extra stuff, then get over and sign up to Patreon, because we're going to be sticking some more stuff up there as well soon.
Yes.
And thank you to all our Patreons.
Yes.
Also, we're now Amazon Associates, so there'll be a link in the description. So yeah, generally, if we talked about any books or anything that we've used for reference, we'll link it up.
Yeah.
But generally, we'll have a link in the description.
Get a free book, man.
You can get up to Audible this week and sign up for a 30-day free trial, and obviously get a free book. Yeah. But if you click into Amazon from our link, and just do your shopping as normal.
Yeah.
We get a nice little.
We get a nice little bunch, and so it don't really come out of your pocket.
Doesn't even cost you. It
costs them.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean?
So you quid's in double.
It's like if you felt like you wanted to help us on Patreon but didn't really want to sign up, this is the perfect way to support us.
Yeah.
So helps
any way helps us.
But obviously, get over to Patreon if you can.
Yes.
Subscribe over on YouTube. Subscribe over there. We're trying to build up our YouTube following. Obviously, it's the same episodes as the podcast, but we do occasionally throw up a video now and again as well.
Keep your eyes out.
Plus, we have our live show, which will be coming up in.
That'll be coming up.
I know it sounds really far away. Yeah,
well, it's really not.
But 25 episodes will fly by.
Yeah,
and trust me.
Yeah,
right. So
we're already preparing for it.
We're already preparing for it. So we've got our live 100 episode show.
Have you got your mask for it?
My mask.
Yeah,
you know,
Casey.
I've ordered you.
Corona
one.
Gets a bit further than it usually.
You can't get them. They're like loving the money. Those things now.
I know.
So I was thinking about that before. I was like, do you know, by the time it gets to us, is there going to be any left?
Do you know what? There was a teenager who bought a load of masks from a shop.
I told you about him.
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah,
Actually, I wanted to. Yeah.
Do you know when you just think, oh, somebody told me a story and I can't remember who it is? I think I'll tell Gaz.
Yeah.
It's like I told you.
Yeah, good lad.
Well, subscribe over on YouTube, and you won't miss our live show.
Yeah.
Again, get over to Facebook and join over there as well.
Yeah.
Again, the website is neverastraightanswer.co.uk.
Yes, it is.
And
get over there.
Links on everything.
Yeah,
so.
It's got everything there. If you go there, you can get to everything.
So
you don't need to go nowhere else.
Don't forget, get your free book, join up on Audible.
Yes.
And that's it. I think that's the episode.
I think so. Well, yeah, I think we're done on this one.
Oh, excellent. Well, we'll be back midweek
with
Never a Straight Answer Extra. We've not done one for a while.
Yeah, so but you're getting a treat this week.
You're getting a nice little treat.
Yeah.
So we'll be back for that, and we'll catch you for the next episode.
Yeah.
I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
Peace
Out.